Did I do it?
Looks like you got it, man.
All right. All right, guys, we'll get started. Let me minimize this. If you have questions, because I'm going to minimize my Zoom so I can see the screen as much as possible. So I can't see if you're raising your hand or something. So if you have questions, just unmute and ask, and we'll do it that way. So the first thing with KV Core is to know that it pulls in information from your Mac Center. So if you log into remax.net and go to your login and then go over to your profile and go to update profile, this is where KV Core will pull your information in for your website, for your email signature and things like that. So you want as much of your profile filled out in Remax as possible. Again, I'm just here in my profile and just scrolling down. I'm actually using my Birmingham account. Joseph is in our Knoxville account, so I'm using my Birmingham account so that we're not jumping into the same one. But you can see here the my name. I've got my picture in there, the address, and you can just go to edit and edit these fields. Make sure that your mobile cell number is your actual cell phone number. It will not work. KV Core will not work. The app won't work correctly. All of that will not work on the back end if you don't have your cell phone number in here as mobile cell, because this is the number that KV Core pulls for whenever we are actually calling through the app. And we'll talk more about that later as to why that's so great. KV Core will actually record your phone calls. So if you're talking to a client, you can call through the app, and it's fantastic because then you can always go back and play it. If you're on the road, you can call through your mobile app and it records your conversation. And that way you're not having to pull off the side of the road and take notes and things like that. You can just keep going. So it makes life super convenient, and you can always go back and listen to those conversations. So make sure that your mobile number is your correct number in there. Email addresses, your Remax email address, and then this ISP email, that will be the email address that when you're emailing things from KV Core, that will be the email address that shows up. So if you want it to be your Remax email address, just keep that in there. If you have a Gmail account that is a secured Gmail account and you want to use that, then put it in here. If you have a free Gmail account, just kind of a side note, if you have just a free Gmail account that you're using for business, I would advise to step that up and get it secured. You could just through your Gmail settings, you can secure that. There is like a monthly fee to do that, but it encrypts everything. When you're getting emails and stuff from title companies and all that kind of stuff, you want to make sure that your Gmail is secured. So we have a secured Gmail account with our own domain, so that takes care of that. Your websites, so any of your website, your Instagram, all of your social media stuff, that's where you put it in right here. And then your license numbers, the service areas, again, this populates onto your website. So you want to put in all the service areas, the places that you work in your area, put those in there. And then your personal bio. Your website is your billboard to the world. So you want to make it as unique and as personal as possible. So do a good job of creating a bio that people can really know who you are. And then it's going to be something that you're proud of and proud of sharing. And it keeps your website from looking just like a generic company website. So fill out all of your profile, and then that stuff will feed over into KV Core. So I'm going to X out of that. And so this is the dashboard of remax.net. And to find KV Core, you'll just scroll down to your apps, If you don't have it saved, it may be lost. You know, you may have to go down to all apps and click on that and then find it. But you're looking for platform Max Tech powered by KV Core. And then you're going to click on that. And that will open your KV Core. So can everybody see that? Make sure switching tabs that it goes through. All right, so this is your dashboard. Whenever you log into KV Core from the beginning, this is what you'll see to start with. Today's objectives, they'll give you kind of a little, here's what to do today. You can scroll down and you'll see the latest activity. And this is what people have been doing on within KV Core. So a new lead came in. I looked at stuff whenever I was logged in as a user. Emails have come in. Somebody unsubscribed from something. So it just kind of gives you a good, here's what's happened most recently. You can also filter this as you get busier and as more people are doing things in your KV Core. You can start filtering there. Sorry, I had a question to Inside Real Estate, so they're just now responding. By the way, Inside Real Estate does a fantastic job of getting to your questions. It may take 15, 30 minutes before a real person pops on, but they're kind of relentless of, did we answer your question? Did we answer your question? Do you have any more questions? So they do a really good job of customer service. So if you have questions, that's kind of the first step that I do is I actually go and ask them. The bot will pop up with some, hey, here's probably what you're asking for. Here's some things that we've already answered. But then if not, you can say, no, talk to a person, and they'll actually get you a real person to talk through too. So again, just the dashboard. And today we're really going to just talk about getting our clients into KV Core and making sure that they are that we have them in the correct statuses and that we know how to apply hashtags. So we're going to skip down to Smart CRM, and that is the little like Ferris wheel right here, and go to all contacts. And this is where if you've already got people in here, if you had either Booz or Lead Street before, and those contacts were automatically moved into KV Core, you may already have some people in there. If you've added them since we've moved to KV Core, then you've got some folks in here. So what this shows is people with the latest activity will pop up at the top. So this is kind of a chronological order. You can change it and do like first name, last name, status, last phone calls, but it defaults to the latest activity. The last person that's been on your site looking, the last person that you've communicated with through KV Core will be up at the top. So to add a contact, you're here in your Smart CRM, and you just go right over to add contact. And what I would suggest, if you've not already put yourself in here, then go ahead and let's fill out you as your own contact. The only thing that you will need is you'll need a different email address than the one that you use for work. So if you have a personal email address, put that in there. This is a great thing because then you can actually see what your clients are getting. You can set yourself up on different search alerts. You can set yourself up on different action plans, and then you can actually see what your clients are getting, how the emails look, and all of that. So it's really important to set yourself up as a contact. So your first name, last name, the email address that you want it to go to, cell phone, permission to contact. You want to hit yes to all of these because you are giving yourself permission to contact yourself. Street address. If you have if you have an address, go ahead and put that in there because you'll be able to see what the market updates look like. So you'll actually get a market update from yourself once a month or however you set up the reoccurrences that will give you an update on what's happening in your neighborhood, the value of your home, and you can see how correct and how specific this market update is. It's really cool. What lead type? So I'd put yourself in there as either a buyer or seller. Statuses, there's different statuses. I would put yourself in there as sphere. But there's sphere, prospect, new lead, active lead, client, contract, closed, and we'll get to all of those and talk about those in a little bit. Lead source, you're manually adding yourself. You are the lead owner. You may not have an option to change this. I have a team account, so I can make my team an owner, or I can make my personal account an owner of the lead. One thing that KV Core does is if you own the lead, then it stays private to you. So that's a really neat feature that most CRMs do not have. Okay, and then right here under notes, I would put like a hashtag test here, and then that way you can always go back and delete it. You can look up test in hashtags and then just delete this account if you need to. But anything that you put in notes actually becomes its own hashtag and then it's searchable. So it's a really, really cool feature. And again, we'll talk more about that in a little bit, but add yourself as a contact. I'm going to cancel this because I didn't put any information in, but I am my own contact in here. So I'm going to search for myself. And you can see everything that has happened with me in here. So once I've put a contact in, KV Core is going to verify the information. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to where I first was entered in as a contact. And you'll see that it starts running things automatically and starts finding information. Sometimes the information may be wrong because they, use this email address for something different. But you can look and see what it found, and then you can always change that information if you know that it's a little bit different. But this pulls social media profiles. It pulls websites that email address or phone number may be connected to. So it's really smart and gives you, valid that, hey, this is an email address that works. This is a phone number that works. And it will give you, if it's verified, it gives you a little badge right there by the name. Okay. And you can see everything that Brandon Smith as a client has ever done on KV Core. Property alerts, subscribe to a market report, viewed properties, saved properties, automated text messages that were sent. So while I was on there as, Brandon Smith, just looking at the website, I clicked on a property and I started looking at more pictures and stuff. And so what KV Core did was it said, Brandon's really interested in this property. So it sent me a text message and it said, hey, Brandon, it looks like you favorited 2960 Shook Hill Parkway in Mountain Brook on my site. Would you like any more information about it? And again, that was done automatically. So really cool. Hashtags were added, market reports. So all of this stuff is done automated because of what I was doing as a client in the website. So the fact that all of this stuff is being done based on what I do in the website automatically is super, super helpful. One of the things that we used to do is we would set up people in our MLSs on searches, and the only thing that they're going to see is exactly what you put in the MLS. Well, when you set people up on search alerts in KV Core, what it's going to do is it's going to send them the criteria that you have set. So 3-bedroom, 2-bath in West Knoxville is what the client said they were looking for. But as the client is looking at these houses, then they're going to other houses and they're starting to look at 4 bedrooms, or they're looking at 5-bedroom homes. They're looking at houses with pools, or they're looking outside of the zip code that I originally put in. The AI that's built into KV Core will automatically say, hey, Brandon's now looking at 4-bedroom homes, so we're going to expand this search to include 4-bedroom homes. And I never did a thing on the back end. It was automatically done for me. So super, super helpful if you've got a lot of people on search alerts, because you know that whenever they first tell you what they're looking for versus what they actually end up buying later on is something completely different. But again, you can see everything that was done within this client. So that's how to add people one at a time. So as you're getting a new client, you want to go in and add them one at a time. If you have a group from an old CRM or an old lead source that you want to add into KV Core, you can do that in bulk, and it's super easy. It takes a little bit of work on the back end, but I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So we're going to go right up here to playbooks. We're going to click on playbooks. I'm going to go right here to gather your sphere. Think. Yeah, okay. Gather your sphere, then open the playbook. And there's 2 different ways that this can be done. You can either send this to KV Core and they will import them for you. You have a little less control, but it's somebody else doing it for you. So you can send them a CSV file that you've downloaded, and they will do it. It usually takes about 3 days. I like to hang on to my stuff, so I do it myself. And the way you do that is you just go here to do it yourself. There's a little video that you can watch that shows you how to do it, but just go to get started. And then right here, you just drag and drop the CSV file. Now, there's a template and a way that they want you to import it. So every different, whether I've got realtor.com or Zillow.com leads, or I have, I'm a Ramsey agent, so I've got leads from there, or whatever lead source that you have your clients in. When you download that CSV file, it's going to put it into a format that it prefers. KV Core is the same way. You've got to change the template to fit their criteria.
Hey, Brandon, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the people online was asking about the hashtags. Do they put the hashtag in, or does KV Core populate it on its own?
Both.
Okay.
Both. So you can, when you are adding them as a client and you go under notes, you can add hashtags as many as you want to. So if it's a client that, it's a buyer and you're currently working them and you want to put that they're looking in Kingsport and they're looking for 3-bedroom, fenced yard, put all of those things as separate hashtags in the notes, and then you'll be able to search that anytime. And you can also add hashtags later. So in the notes is where you'll add it whenever they're a brand new contact, but then you can always go back in and add hashtags to them. And I'll show you how to do that in just a minute.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So right here, use our template for your list, and then I've already got it pulled up so that I don't have to download it again. This is what the template looks like. It will, it's a CSV, which will open up in Numbers or Excel, whatever format you use. And this is the order that you'll want to rearrange your CSV file into, okay? And these are the categories. So if, most of the time the CSV file will download and it'll be, first name, last name, email address, and put it into a certain order. What you'll want to do is you'll just want to copy and paste each individual cell into these categories so that they're in the right categories. Okay. So first name, last name, birthday if you have it. And if you don't have any of this information for a client, you can just leave it blank and it just won't import it. Email address, if they have a secondary email, this is for this client. Okay, I'm going to kind of scroll through so that you can see that if they have a spouse, there's a separate place for the spouse's email. Status, here's where you'll want to put the status of these leads. Okay, so probably if you're importing them from a third party, they'll all be the same status. So you can just, go copy and paste all the way down into status. You can see there's 70 something different fields that can be filled out. So you can get as specific as you want to. The more information that you pull over into KV Core, the more accurate your data will be. Then hashtags and agent notes. And note, all three of these will populate into hashtags and will end up becoming hashtags in KV Core. So it makes it searchable. So whether it imports as hashtags, imports as agent notes, or note, all of those things will end up being searchable for you in KV Core. And again, even their search criteria, if it was in your previous CRM, can be imported into KV Core. It's a lot of information that can be pulled in. Agent assigned, if you're on a team, then I would suggest going ahead and putting your name here as agent assigned and copy and paste that all the way down so that whenever they do come in, they're all coming in as your clients. If you're not on a team and you're a single agent, you have your own KV Core account, your own Remax account, don't worry about that. It's going to go to you no matter what. Okay. Source, make sure you have the source in there. A lot of times your CSV, if you download it, like if I download it from Zillow, it's not going to say the source is Zillow because, that's where it's coming from. So I'll have to add that in that, hey, all of these were Zillow leads. I want to make sure that I've got that source in there so that I can go back and know that, hey, what I'm paying for is working because I've closed this lead and it was a Zillow lead. Date that they registered. So again, a whole lot of different fields that you can import into KV Core. Okay. So once I've saved that, then I just go to browse files and I'll look for it, or I can drag and drop it in there. And then KV Core will start parsing the leads. And if it sees something that's screwy, it will ask you about it. And you can say yes or no. to that, but it works beautifully if you have it in the right order. And if you've done the homework of, making sure that that you've got the information in here just like they want it, it goes straight in. It doesn't matter if it's 3 leads or if it's 1,000. I've helped people import 1,000 leads from an old CRM and they went in perfectly. The only time that you will get a hiccup is if they are already in KV Core as someone else's lead. So, for example, in Birmingham, we had Lead Street, which I think we had Bouge up here, but they had Lead Street down there, and there were a couple of agents that had gotten double. The lead was sent out twice. It was a Remax.com lead, and 2 people for some reason had gotten it, and they had it in their CRMs. Well, when they went to import, KV Core said, "Hey, this lead is already in somebody else's in your office in there." So those 2 agents just had a conversation. One of them took the lead, the other one said, "Have it," and that it was done. So an email address will only be put into your office's KV Core one time. Does that make sense? So I can't have the same email address lead as somebody else in my office. Now, I can have it in Knoxville in our office, and then someone else may have it in Morristown because they've looked in 2 different places and we're 2 different offices. But you won't have the same person in the same office with the same email address. I hope that wasn't too confusing. So I'm going to X out of this for importing and go back to contacts. And so now you can see I have manually entered some people, and I have put people in from importing leads. So in my CRM here, I have, let's see, scroll down to the bottom, 895 contacts currently in my CRM. In mine, you can see I've got a lot of people that are prospect. These were leads that were abandoned by other agents that had either left Remax or we received a lot of abandoned leads, and so I have them in there as contacts. I still have them on a newsletter hashtag so that they're getting a newsletter, but I have them labeled as prospect because I don't know where they are in the process. I don't know if they closed on a house or where they are, so they're just kind of generically in there. Let me scroll up, and we're going to open a client and just really dive into what all we can do with our clients. So Paul, I'm going to click on Paul. Paul is actually a client that I closed on a property 2 years ago, and Paul went onto my website instead of texting me, and contacted me through my website. So he came in as a new lead, and then I was able to make some changes because I knew that he was actually a client. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to this very center part. So you can see the client journey right here, and just scroll down, and I'm going to show you how he came in and what all happened. So he went to my website and he asked a question. "Hello, Brandon, you are my realtor for a home I bought in Birmingham. I need to have some minor contractor work done on it. Do you or your office have a list of recommended contractors? Thanks, Paul." And he sent me this as a question on my website. Okay. When he did, it assigned it to me in KV Core. It created a profile. It added the hashtag contact us because that's where the lead came in from. It was, he clicked on contact us. KV Core did a validation run. So it found out that his email address was an actual real email address, his location, occupation, website, profile from Twitter, profile from LinkedIn. It pulled all of that stuff because that was kind of public knowledge, thanks to AI and Google. It defaulted coming in as a new lead buyer. Okay. It sent a text to me to let me know that, hey, I've got somebody that has asked a question. So I got a text message to my cell phone that forwarded the message from Paul. So then I was able to just go in and I replied to that text message and I said, hey, Paul, absolutely. Hope things are going well for you and your family. Here's who I recommend. He just did a job for us. He was great and fantastic. Here's his number. Okay. Then, before I got the chance to turn off, because I didn't change his status, it did send another text message, because KV Core will try to do things automated for you in case you don't get to it quick enough. But if you go in here quickly and you change the status, then it will put a pause on the automations. Okay. So I went in and I changed his status from new lead to closed because he was a client that I'd actually closed on. When I did this, it removed the campaigns. I added a hashtag. So I have everybody in my CRM. I've added the hashtag newsletter so that whenever my marketing person goes in and she creates our newsletter, all she does is add hashtag newsletter and it pulls up everybody that is supposed to get the newsletter. So I've added that hashtag in. And then I added other hashtags. I added that he was a past client so that if I ever need to go in and just search past clients, I can do that. I added the neighborhood that he purchased his home in. Also added the hashtag investor because he bought this home for his daughter and son to go to college. So he doesn't actually live in this home. It's not his primary home. This is an investment property for him. Okay. And then I just canceled an automated campaign because I didn't want him receiving this automated campaign. So you can see everything that I do for this client in KV Core is in here. If I send text messages or emails, or if I call through the platform, it's going to log in here.
No
So
more.
it's great to do as much as you can for your clients in KV Core, so that you know exactly what's going on with them. And you're not having to go through text messages on your phone or having to look up, when was the last time this person called me? I can go right in here and it's all here. Okay. Here's their details. I can change, I can add their physical address if I want to. I can change if they were a buyer and now, a couple of years later, he wants to sell. So he's going to become a seller. I can just click there and change him from buyer to seller. I have other agents in my CRM because I want them getting my newsletter. I want them to know what's going on, in our world, especially referral agents that are in other areas. So I don't have Knoxville agents in my CRM, but I may have, I may have Christy in there because I want her to see what's going on with what I'm selling and what I'm doing each month, so that if she has a client that's moving in Knoxville, then I'll stay top of mind and she'll give me that referral. Agents in California and Chicago and places where people are moving to Knoxville from, I want them in my CRM and I want them getting my newsletter so that they can send me referrals. Vendors, I have them in here as well. So whether they're a lender or a vendor that's a handyman, I have them in here also. Okay. Hashtags, here's where I can go crazy and add as many hashtags as I want to this client. And every time I add a hashtag, it's going to pop up, in here and tell the date that I added the hashtag. So if I wanted to, change anything in their hashtags, then I could. You keep mentioning a newsletter. Do you create it or is it provided? Larry, so I create a newsletter every month. It's done through, and that's one of the weeks that we'll get to. I think it's the third week where we'll actually talk about some automations, some newsletters, and mass emailing our clients and things like that. We'll talk through that, and I'll show you how to set all of that up. But the hashtags is probably my favorite thing that KV Core does, because I can make them as specific as I need to. And then it makes it searchable. And then I can go in and I can just search by hashtag. So if, say I'm in, Sequoia Hills is a neighborhood here in West Knoxville, and I've got, 50 buyers that are looking in Sequoia Hills, I'm going to add that hashtag to all of them. And then if I get a new listing, then all I have to do is go into to the clients, to my smart CRM, search the hashtag, and then I can mass email those 50 people that are looking in Sequoia Hills this new listing that I got, and it's going to go to them specifically. I don't need it to go to people who are looking, in a completely different area. So the more things you can add to hashtags, the better. And get specific. 3-bedroom. If they want a pool, add pool into their hashtags. All of this stuff is searchable. The one thing, and it will tell you if it doesn't accept the hashtag. So if I tried to put contact us and there's a space and I go to hit enter, this field cannot contain spaces. Okay, so I'm just going to close those. And I want whatever phrase that I'm going to search for to not have any spaces, because it's going to see it as separate hashtags. Okay, so each hashtag, don't add any spaces. So 3-bedroom literally needs to be 3-bedroom without any spaces. I heard you can send mass emails. What about mass group text? Yes, Kim, you can send mass text message, mass emails. You can do voicemail drops. All of that you can do by groups. Yep. Okay, so hashtags are super important. The more hashtags you add, the better. And then you'll see the insights. Some of your clients will have a 1 and 2, 3 stars. Some will have a 5-star. That just all depends on what the AI and what is out there on Google and all that for your client, based on their email address and their phone number that they put in, or that you put in for them. Okay. You can see who the contact is visible to, that I'm the owner of this contact, but I can transfer it. So say somebody came into my, came in and they used a different email address to register because they saw my ad, but they're actually a client that's working with somebody else in my office, and they just happen to pop in. I can transfer them just by hitting transfer and sending them to the other person, and I can get them out of my CRM and they can go to another person within my office. Can't transfer outside of your office, but within your office, you can transfer from one agent to another. This is great too. Remax.com sends us leads every once in a while. And maybe I got a lead for an area that is in my MLS, but I don't really travel that far. So say Don and Vivian in my office work on the east side of town, and I don't work on the east side of town. So I'm going to transfer that lead to them and let them work it, because they know a whole lot more about the area than I do. I believe in being hyper local, so I like working small pockets and kind of being the pro of that small pocket. So if a lead does not fit what I work, then I'm going to transfer them. I'm going to give them to somebody else. And so you just click transfer. You can search for the agent, and I can send it to somebody else in my office that I know will work that client. If it's an investor and I don't work investors, I'm not going to practice on a client, so I'm going to send them to somebody that works investors. So talk to people in your office, find out, hey, what side of town do you like working? What kind of clients do you like working with? Because I'd love to send you people that I don't want to work with, or that, maybe too far out of my area to work. There's a third option that you may have. I don't know if this is just for teams or if everybody has this, but there's a shared with option. So if I don't want to get rid of this lead because I have a team, so if I want to give this to one of my team members, I can share the lead. Or if I want to just co-op it with somebody else in my office and say, hey, we're going to tag team this person and we're going to work this together, we're going to split it 50-50, I can share the lead. It stays in my CRM. They can also access the lead and they can make changes and stuff to it, but I can see in real time everything that's happening, whether I do it or the person that I shared it with has worked it. So that makes it really convenient if you are working with somebody in your office and you're teaming up with a client. You can share it and both of you can have access to this client. Okay. So over on the right-hand side is where you can actually interact with the client. So I can call directly from KV Core. If I call from here, it's going to record the conversation and it's going to put it in their CRM. I can go back and listen to it later. It's fantastic. I can add a note. So if it's more than just a hashtag and I want to, add a note that, Paul reached out via my website and he wanted to know the name of a contractor. I could put that in there. Okay. If I want to add a hashtag while I'm here in the notes, I can. I can just hit the hashtag button and then I can either add a new word, or I can pull from what I've already populated. Okay. And all of these are hashtags that I've created. It makes it super simple. Okay. And then just add note. And then you'll see that that popped up as the latest thing that I've done. I can send him an email directly from here. I can send a text message directly from here. I can do a voicemail drop. So if I wanted to, I didn't want to call him, Paul's long-winded, and I know that if I get on the phone with him, then it's going to be a 45-minute conversation, but I want him to know that I'm thinking about him. So I'm going to do a voicemail drop and say, hey, Paul, I just wanted to make sure that you got in touch with Raul. If you have any questions or need anything, please let me know. Don't hesitate to reach out, and it will drop the voicemail in there. Looks like I attempted to call, didn't get in touch with him, and but he still sees that I made the attempt to contact him. Core video, you can send a video message. This is through BombBomb. BombBomb gives us so many free, I think it's 10 free videos a month through KV Core. If you're sending out more video text than that, you do have to sign up for a BombBomb account. But I think through KV Core, it's only $30 a month. So if you do a lot of video texting, it's a great tool to use. And you just go to core video. You can send it as an email or send it as a text. You open the recorder. You can add more text to it on the bottom and then just send it. And again, you get 10 of those free every month.
Hey, Brandon, I have a question regarding emailing.
Sure,
Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Are you there?
In the past, I've found that when you send an
Hey, how are
email,
ya?
it goes to their what do you call it? Junk mail.
Oh, it's okay. It's not a problem. We had something the other day at a property and I was like, oh my
Oh.
God, I didn't get that back. I need to get that back.
Crystal,
So
you'll have to mute. You're talking to all of us. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
So if you send an email, how do I know the person's getting it? That's what I've found in the past using KV Core until they accept it. So I always try to text them, say, hey, I sent you an email, check your spam folder.
Yeah, and you can see when they do open it, you can see it in the down here in the client journey that they opened it. The spam, have you went into the email? Are you using your Remax email or are you using your Gmail account?
This is with another company I was
Okay.
with that I used it, and I noticed that things would go to their spam folder when I would call them. They'd say I never got an email. So then I started realizing that it's going to I tested it on myself,
Uh-huh.
and when I'd move that email over to the inbox, then I would get what I was supposed to, what I was setting myself. So I'm just curious if there's a way around that. Once it's moved over, it works fine. Once you move
Yeah.
from your spam folder to your inbox, but there's always that first one seems to go to the wrong place.
Right. And that's a lot of the built-in KV Core and even other CRMs. I've had that same problem with where people the email providers think that it's spam. They think that you're just another, Bath and Body Works sending out 500, messages a day type thing. I don't know a workaround around that other than just changing, if you find out that it's happening a lot, changing your subject lines to be, test different subject lines to see if it moves them over, if more people open them. But it's more of the third party, it's your client's email providers that are sparsing that email versus your email provider that's sending it, if that makes sense. Because it's their,
It does.
yeah, it's their program that's putting it into junk.
Sometimes you don't have a phone number, they just give you an email address, no name or anything. So you try to contact them and they're probably not either. They're probably really suspects more than prospects. So, but you like to,
Yeah,
if you send something, you'd love them to get it, but maybe.
sure. Yeah,
Thank you.
and so what I've heard from a lot of Remax agents is that the remax.net, when they've tried using that, more of that has went to spam. So they have switched it over to their Gmail account or their third party email account, and it's went to junk less. So Elizabeth, did you have a question?
Two-part question.
Okay.
Can you send the bomb video, and I'm pretty sure you can, to a whole group of people? And is that that 10 recipients are free, or is it 10 videos a month are free?
I believe it's 10 recipients.
Okay.
I've not tried it, but I believe it's 10 recipients, and I believe that until you add the, if I'm not wrong, until you pay for it, you can only send it one at a time to one client at a time.
Okay. Thank you.
Brandon, quick question.
Sure.
If somebody unsubscribes, let's say they unsubscribe from text or they unsubscribe from email, and then they later decide they want to come back in, is there a way that I can do that on my end?
Yes, sir. Yep. So right over here on, let's see, I think it's more actions. Yeah, under more actions on the right-hand side, if they've unsubscribed, it should give you the option to say resubscribe or subscribe to emails, and subscribe from text. So if they had already turned that off, you should be able to click that back on and turn them back on.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Yep, and while we're right here, I'll just go into this more actions. You can add a task, and this add a task is if you want to prompt yourself, like, hey, I need to call Paul in 3 days and follow up, make sure Raul did the work or that they've got an appointment. So I'm going to add a task here. Click follow up. And I'm going to set this out for Monday. And I have my time specifically blocked off to where I'm in my CRM first thing in the morning and kind of last thing in the day. So at 8 a.m. on the 15th, I'm going to assign this to myself, and I'm going to say, call Paul and see if he and Raul have scheduled an appointment for the work on his investment property. Then I add a task. Okay. On the 15th, in my dashboard or on my app, that's going to be a task that pops up for me to do that, hey, I need to follow up with this. So it's a great way to add a task for somebody that you need to follow up with. Again, you can share the contact, update and send evaluation. So if they have an address and they're a potential seller, maybe you are farming a neighborhood and you've got a bunch of people in there with their addresses, you can update and send evaluation that tells what their home is currently worth. You can transfer the lead from here, merge contacts. If I have a husband and wife, or if I have someone that has entered their information 2 times and they gave me 2 different email addresses because they forgot the first one or whatever, I can merge the contacts so that they're not in there twice. They're not getting my newsletter 2 different times. I'm adding them as one person. If they have called me or emailed me and said, hey, I want to unsubscribe, I can click unsubscribe right here. Turn off behavioral alerts. I can archive them. I can delete a contact. If there's somebody that came in as a lead from like remax.com and they were transferred to me and it's somebody that I not only am I not going to work with, but I don't know somebody to transfer them to, I can just rerun them through the lead distribution and somebody else can pick them up. Okay. I can also search for them on different social media places as well. So all of that is right there in more action. Okay. So let's talk about in 2 weeks, I think, then the next time we get together, we're going to talk about search alerts, active campaigns, market reports, all of this part, the listing valuation, we're going to dive into this. But I want to make sure that you know how to add contacts and that you've got them categorized correctly. So right here, client journey, this is where you can change people on their journey. Okay. Sphere is for people that I know, people that I know, or they have, maybe they are a referral from somebody that I personally know. I have them in their sphere. I want to make sure that I've got my sphere in there listed correctly. So not only do I have my sphere in there as, I don't want to change that. Not only do I have them in their sphere here, but then I'm also going to put them in as hashtag sphere, and then I can search that as well. Because they may change in the client journey. My sphere person may turn into a client. They may turn into under contract, okay? But I don't want to forget where they came from. So I'm going to keep them hashtag sphere. Does that make sense? And that way that hashtag always stays. I know that, hey, this is somebody that I know, or this is a referral. They're in their sphere, even if they now become a client, or even if now I get them under contract. Okay. Prospect, I have this set for anybody that comes in as an internet lead or something that I inherited and I don't know where they are on the journey. I've not contacted them yet. So they're a prospect until I contact them. Once I contact them, then I know whether they are a new lead or not. If they're actually, somebody that's going to be looking for a home in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm going to move them to new lead. But if there's somebody that just clicked a button on a website and, they have no intentions of buying anything currently, I'm leaving them in as prospect. New lead, I've got in, as somebody that is, 3 to 6 months out. Active lead is somebody that is currently looking. Have a lot of agents from different states added as sphere. Is there something else I can do or add as a referral? Vivian, I'd leave them in there as sphere on the client journey, but I would mark them as agent right here. And then in hashtag, you could potentially put, referral agent, agent from Chicago or
Exactly.
something like that. And
Exactly.
really get
I also-
specific.
Yeah, I have them under Women's Council of Realtors or wherever I met them, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Put all that stuff in hashtags. Yep.
Okay.
Client is somebody that I am currently working with. So, I have very few of those at one time. Most of my CRM is going to be sphere, prospect, new lead, because that is, that's your kind of B and C clients. I want them automatically getting stuff from me. These are not the people that I'm in contact with on a daily basis. Active lead, once I know that they're looking for a home, they're, 0 to 3 months out, then I want to be talking to them and touching them on a regular basis. So I want them to be an active lead, and I want to make sure that I can just click on active leads, and there's all the people that I don't need to let fall through the cracks. Clients, again, are people that I'm currently working with. I'm showing them houses, or are they a seller that I've got their house listed? They're a client. Contract, once we go under contract, move them to contract, and your alerts and your action plans are going to change. So that's why all this is important, because when we start automating things, we want to make sure that people are in the right category so that they're getting the right information. We don't want somebody that's just a sphere to be getting our email that says, congratulations, you're under contract. So we want to make sure that people are labeled correctly here. And then closed. Once they go from contract to closed, I'm going to change them to closed. And again, that's going to automate for the next year now. They're going to get stuff from me as a closed buyer or a closed seller, and I'm staying in touch with them. They're getting my newsletter, and then they're getting occasional things from me. They're getting a prompt to give me a review on Google My Business. They're getting prompted to send me a referral once every 3 or 6 months. These are all automated things that I've done based on their client journey. Okay, so I want to make sure that people are labeled correctly. So over these next 2 weeks, as you're importing people into your CRM, make sure that you've got their hashtags right. Make sure that they're either buyer, seller, renter, vendor, agent, that you've got that correct. And then make sure that their client journey is correct. Because in 2 weeks, when we start adding the search alerts and the action plans, then we want to make sure that the right people are getting the right thing, and we're not automatically sending something out to people and, then they're unsubscribing because it's not relevant. So that's that. And then again, we've talked about hashtags. Make sure that I've covered.
I have a question about email.
Yes.
We both have emails related to our website, like mine is brandoffer.com. I have Outlook as an email. You're talking about getting a better Gmail account. Is there a way to tie the two together? Because I used to be Gmail, but then I got forced by my domain name to use Outlook as a source for email.
Yeah.
And we both have separate emails, of course. I wanted to know what the priority is, or if there's a way to cross-post them, or what's the benefit of either one?
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, so let me make sure I understood you. So y'all have 2 different emails.
Right. We have mine is Don at brandoffer.com because I have a domain name brandoffer.com rather than at gmail.com. So that's why I was asking if we could use Outlook. What's better prepared to use Gmail, and can we forward it that way, or is there a way to tie it together?
So I'll tell you what I did. And this may be a good workaround for you guys. I created so my host is Gmail. My hearthandhills.com is hosted by Gmail. I can add basically a vanity email address, and I have it called info@hearthandhills.com that goes to both my email and goes to Joseph's email. So we have 2 separate email accounts, but then I created this info and I have it forwarded to go to both of us. So in my CRM, then the email address that I have put in for people to get email to and from me, what they see comes from info@hearthandhills.com instead of either Brandon or Joseph, because we share one account as a 2-person team.
Exactly. Yeah, we did that in the past, and we had sales at Brandoffer and info at Brandoffer, and people would kept telling me it was going to their junk. So I got those keywords, sales or info, and stopped having a junk mail issue.
Huh. Okay.
But we have 2 separate emails, 2 separate accounts, and only one contact CRM. So that gets a little confusing because everything's basically under his name and not mine.
Yeah. That's why we created the 3rd email address.
I don't care who's boss.
Yeah, our workaround for that was creating that 3rd email address and putting that as the contact for the to and from, and then it just forwards to both of our emails. That's the only workaround that I know, because you can only have one
You can keep
to and
it.
from.
Thank you.
Yep. Now you can, one possible thing is you could go into Don, if you have your email address in there, then you could go into your email settings and you could create a filter that forwards anything from KV Core. So from that address, the no reply kvcore.com, anything that comes in to your email from that email address, you could automatically forward it to Vivian, and then she could get a copy of it that way.
If people really want me, they'll see on our signature, my email and phone number and all that's there too. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't really care if they want to only communicate with him.
Well, weeds out the spam and then you get all the good stuff.
Hey, there you go.
All right. Well, I'm going to open it up to questions. Does anybody have questions about getting the contacts in and making sure that the statuses are correct? Anything like that? I will say right here in this smart CRM, when you're on the the kind of main page of that, that's where you can do the mass email, mass text. Okay, but it is only for one page of clients at a time. Okay, so if you mass email from here, you can only mass email the people that you're clicking right here. Okay, so if you want to, which is great for for a filter. So if I go in and I am just looking, I'm gonna go to hashtags. I think it's under client details. Yeah. Hashtag Hoover. And I'm gonna apply filter. And take a minute. Then here are my whole one person that I have hashtagged Hoover for. And now I can do a mass email for those clients from there. But if I want to email my whole database, that's 2 weeks. We'll talk about how to do that. But you can pull your hashtags and do just groups at a time by going to filter, applying the filter, and then you can do it from there. See if I can clear my filter. Oh, right there, clear filter.
I did a mass email for New Year's to past clients. Happy New Year, blah, 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 health and good cheer, blah, blah. Anyway, I just hit past clients. I have a hashtag past clients. And so I just hit that and hit apply.
Yep.
And they all got it. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, worked great. Doesn't matter how many there were.
Yep. All right. Any other questions?
Newsletters, is there a fun way to create a newsletter without taking information off of filter.com? Newsletters?
Say that one more time.
Creating your own newsletter versus taking stuff off of realtor.com information, like that. Using that as a newsletter.
Yeah, I create my own, but I will add articles in from like either realtor.com or from KCM, Keeping Current Matters. I'll do that, but I like controlling everything. So I'll do my own newsletter.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's offended. He's not on video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brandon, can you use numbers in the hashtags, or does it always have to be words?
Yes. Yeah. You can use, let me make sure. Yeah, I know you can do like 3-bedroom. Yeah, you can add numbers.
So you can, like I could put, if somebody's looking in the 400,000 range, I can put that as a hashtag.
Let's test it just to make sure. 400K. I can't add the dollar sign, but I can add, I can do like 400K.
Okay.
You can also, you can, if you want to further, you know, instead of just active lead, if you want to have A clients, B clients, and C clients, you can hashtag A. And then everybody that's an A client, you know, is an A. I can do A, B, C, and D. Do it that way, and even get a little more granular. Elizabeth, did you have a question?
Inside real estate is the chat. What?
He asked
Oh,
Elizabeth.
sorry.
I apologize. I think that was from before.
Oh, okay, okay.
Now you.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, inside real estate is the chat, is real estate's a free thing that everybody seems to get. Chat between people? Or is there something attached to KV4?
I can't see who's talking.
That was Dawn.
That was Don.
Oh, okay, okay. Asking about the inside real estate chat.
Yes.
Yeah, I use it on a probably every other day basis, and get good responses. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others, but the thing is, even if I leave, let me just pull it up real quick so you can see. So it's this little button here at the bottom. It's always there. So like the question that I asked earlier, and I said, talk to a person. Kennedy reached out, but I was busy, so I've not answered her back yet. So I will do that shortly. But they'll keep saying, you know, just checking in. Did you have any other questions? You can go back and see all of your conversations that you've had. And if you want to restart a conversation, all you have to do is go in and start talking in that same conversation. And when they get notified, they can see what your previous conversation was and where it was left and all of that.
Okay, so if you click on
Okay.
the green button, what is that for? Is that for KV Core, or is that for something separate?
So this was the bot that if it's not a person's face, then it's just the bot that responded, and I probably messaged them at 3 o'clock in the morning whenever there was nobody live to answer my question. So, and what I'll show you what it tries to do. It tries to send you what it thinks you're looking for. And then if you say get more help, it looks like you've caught us outside of our normal business hours. We welcome you to chat again, you know, when we're back online.
Okay, so it's inside KV Core, inside real estate assistant, inside KV Core.
Yeah, Inside Real Estate is the owner of KV Core. That's their parent company. So the chat is called Inside Real Estate, but all these are KV Core people. And when you get a real person, like this one, you can see that there's 3 different faces because the first person couldn't help me, and so they transferred me to somebody else. I think this was a team question, and so they had to move me to somebody else. But
okay, I understand a little bit better. Thank you.
Yeah, they're really responsive and do a good job of helping.
It's now Remax, isn't it?
Any other questions? All right, well, I will.
And is there a way you can help set up Google My Business? I think we got most of it set up, but I don't think it's all the way set up.
Google My Business. We finally just got our Knoxville Google My Business approved after a year of going back and forth with them. We did the videos. I did a fake sign on the door, hoping that that would help, and they kept denying, and finally approved. Birmingham one, approved it in a day. So there is no rhyme or reason to Google My Business. It is, yeah, you just,
It's been taking us a while. That's why I was asking. It's like, what am I doing wrong?
yeah, keep,
Yeah, if it takes him a year, you know.
keep doing the same thing. Is what I would suggest. That's, the last time that I submitted, I didn't give any new information. All I said was, hey, we already have one account. This is our second location. You have not approved us for a year. We're still in business, and I just put that in the support, and I've done that 50 times, and finally they just approved it. So
We keep getting the phone calls about Google My Business, Google My Business. Like, well, I've already applied. I answer one of those phone calls one of these times and say, hey, help me.
yeah,
Why
a lot of those are third party, just wanting you to pay for them to set you up. And it's,
Okay, I'm doing the right thing by blocking them. I always find a new phone number to call from.
yeah, yep.
Hey, Brandon, not on KV Core, but you'd mentioned earlier about getting a secure Gmail account.
Yes, sir.
How do you go about that to know whether you got that or not, or I guess I don't, because this is the first I've heard about it. So
Yeah, so if you just have a regular free Gmail .com domain, then it's not secure. So let me see, let me share my screen again. Do-
That's the thing.
So when you go to your Google account, if you'll have to, you're basically setting up a business. So you'll go to account, and through there, you will want to create you'll want to secure it. I'll do a separate video. I'm not real sure. I've had this for a couple of years. So I'll have to go back and see exactly how I did it.
I
But
see where it is now, so I can probably sit down and figure it out, but I appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can either go to account or go to admin, if you have that option. And again, it's a small fee, a month, but it does, it secures your account, and, helps reduce the risk of getting, hacked. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everybody for hopping in. Christy, I think I'm done. If you have anything else for us. Oh, and if you're available, we're starting a book club here in the Knoxville office. So from 4 to 6, tonight's just kind of just a fun get together, get to know each other. We'll do a couple of kind of icebreaker games, and then talk about the upcoming book. But we're going to read 10 books this year. Most of them are real estate related. A couple of them are professional development, but they all build on one another. I made sure to select books that, there's so many real estate books out there, and, half of them say, do this. And then the other half say, don't do that, do this. When I came to RE/MAX, one of the things that I loved about this company is the longevity of the agents who have been with this company for 20 and 30 years. And their business is referral. And some of them are, 20 and 30 years into the business and having the best year they ever had last year, when other people were grasping at straws and trying to buy leads and all this kind of stuff. And it's all about taking care of your sphere and building a referral business that will last no matter what the market does. And that's what I feel like the Remax brand is it's that well-known name that takes care of their people, and a name that's been around, that will be around. So all the books that I've selected for our book club are the real estate books are about building your database, about your referrals, about how to love on your people. So it's not, it's not the get rich quick and go out there and buy 50 leads from Zillow or buy leads from this third party. It's how to take care of your clients for life, and how to build a business where you're helping mom and dad, and then you're helping their kids, and then you're helping grandmama. You're becoming a family agent for people. So I'm really excited. The first book is called The Agent's Edge. Jordan Cohen, who's the #1 Remax agent in the world, has written this book, and it is phenomenal, y'all. And it is all about customer service and how he goes really back old school and the way that we used to do business. I've been in the business for 20 years. And, the way that we started versus the way that we did business during COVID is completely different. And so it's getting back to, real customer service. And I tell you, when you take care of people and you do a good job with customer service, you're not going to have people suing you because they think that they paid you too much money, and all this kind of stuff that our industry is dealing with. When you give above and beyond customer service, you're going to be paid for it. You're going to be compensated well for it. So that's what the first book is, The Agent's Edge by Jordan Cohen. It's fantastic. We'll be on Zoom for anybody that wants to join us virtually. But if you're in the Knoxville area, would love for y'all to be here. I provide food every month. This month we're doing a spin on New Year's because it's January. So it's the cornbread, greens, and black-eyed peas, but it's in a whole different way. That's going to be tonight from 4 to 6. And then we're also adding kind of a wine club feature to it. So bring a bottle of wine, and we'll share a glass of wine and talk about the upcoming book and get to know each other a little bit better. So again, if you want to join us virtually, we'll be on Zoom for that. I think Christy sent the link out for that as well. And it's in our collective Remax group on Facebook. If you're not part of that, make sure to join us on there, and give each other referrals and find out more about each other in that group. I think that's a great way to build our collective businesses together. So I think
If
that
you're
is
having wine, I wish I could be there.
it. It'll be, I'm doing dry January, so my wine is actually a non-alcoholic wine this month, but so not the best I've ever had, but it's not terrible. It'll do. It'll do for this month. But thanks everybody, and I'll make sure that Christy sends out the recording video of this to all the groups too. So and we'll
Thank
see
you, Brandon.
y'all
Great
in 2 weeks.
presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so
Brandon.
much.
Thank you.